In my last video, I briefly talked about Artstyle and I mentioned games like Jet Set Radio and Mirror's Edge, and it made me want to make a video about Artstyle in games, so I'm just going to get right into it. I'm going to talk about Mirror's Edge for a few minutes because I feel like this game is very underrated in my opinion. I think this game deserves way more praise because of how unique this game is. I haven't seen a game like this since it came out. The game centers around parkour and it has a first-person aspect to it. It came out in 2008 when EA actually didn't make complete dog shit. And this game is the opposite of dog shit. The atmosphere this game has is second to none, and the art style is just actually so beautiful. The sound design really carries the atmosphere in my opinion. The way Faith sounds like her heart is racing at 100 miles per hour, and the cars honking, and the sound of the wind as you're running and jumping off buildings just captures you in a way that I haven't seen another game do. The way everything just blends perfectly into this amazing single-player experience is phenomenal, and this game does not get enough appreciation. But why is Faith running and doing parkour? Well, basically after she was framed for the murder of the Pope, she has to deliver messages for an underground network to clear her name and her sister's name because they are being chased by the Blues. That's not the whole story, so if you want to know the whole story of Mirror's Edge, I'll leave a link for a video that explains the story. The reason Faith does parkour specifically is because it's a way of expressing yourself and is also the only way to navigate the City of Glass, since the whole city is basically like North Korea where the city is surveillanced and traditional movement is monitored. Really eerie stuff. The game uses parkour in a fantastic way. It's not an annoying feature that you don't want to use. It's implemented and used in an important way that actually makes the parkour feel important. It also represents parkour and freerunning in an appealing way where it encourages free thinking and flow. Flow is basically the art of movement in parkour and using your environment to navigate in a fast way that looks and feels good. The way Mirror's Edge makes you feel like you're actually navigating a dystopian city is incredible. Sometimes it can feel like the city is made for parkour because of the red that shows up to indicate that you can climb on something, but if you really look at it, the city is designed really good and again gives that dystopian city feel. It doesn't just look like, oh hey, look at this billboard that happens to be perfect to wall run on. You're just straight up using anything in your environment to get away from the cops. This game nailed the main gameplay mechanic in my opinion, which some games don't even know how to get right nowadays. The art style in Mirror's Edge just fits so perfectly and just adds to the already amazing game. If you just take a look at the way the city looks, it does kind of look bland, but in a super unique way, where it doesn't feel bland to navigate. It feels like you could go on top of any building, which you sadly can't, but the game's level design is so good it almost feels like you're going on top of every building, honestly. The way the colors just stand out among the bland white buildings, the blend of blue, orange, yellow, and red is so perfect. It's just pure eye candy. You see a glimpse of a screenshot from Mirror's Edge and you immediately can recognize what game it is. A lot of games don't have that, which makes this game super unique. Another thing the game does that I don't see often is use 2D animated cutscenes instead of 3D cutscenes. As a kid I always skipped these, but now when I go back and play Mirror's Edge I end up really liking the cartoony cutscenes. It's clear that it was a budget thing, but I think it adds to the specialness of the game. It feels like they made the most of what they had, and it adds charm to the game and its cutscenes. This game holds a special place in my heart, and I will always love it, and if you haven't played it yet, you totally should. Moving on to another game with fantastic and unique art style is a game I talked about in my last video called Jet Set Radio. Like I said in my last video, this is the most unique game I've ever played, but since I already talked about the gameplay, I will talk about the art style now. It has a late 90s, early 2000s aesthetic to it, and a Japanese street kind of style. The art style is called cel-shaded, and I think it might be my favorite art style. This game is also just pure eye candy, and ear candy as well with the music. The art style blends so perfectly with the game and makes everything pop. It's actually kind of similar to Mirror's Edge in my opinion. But instead of parkour, you're doing inline skating, and it feels kind of clunky, but it also flows in a weird way. It's hard to explain. You'd have to play it for yourself to understand. This game is super fun to mess around with, and you can even mod the game and get custom graffiti sprays, kind of like in a Source game. And again, the art style is really awesome. I haven't seen too many games use this kind of cel-shaded look. Fun fact, Jet Set Radio was actually the first game to be released using the cel-shaded graphic style. The only game that has a similar art style is TF2, and we all know TF2, so I'm not going to talk about that game's art style. The way this game looks still holds up in my opinion, especially on the PC version. The Dreamcast version is dope, but it just looks really good on PC. Another game with a cel-shaded look that was kind of controversial when it came out is Zelda Wind Waker. I love Wind Waker, and if Ocarina of Time didn't exist, then Wind Waker would probably be my favorite Zelda. This kind of cartoony art style was really unique when it came out in 2003, and it's my favorite art style in the Zelda franchise. I like Ocarina of Time for its gameplay and story, but Wind Waker has my favorite design, and also Toon Link is dope. Honestly, this video is just a huge glaze towards cel shading, but I think it's the most unique art style I've seen in a game. I think a good art style can make or break a game sometimes, and when a game has an art style that is special and unique, it makes the game stand out and recognizable. It's kind of like how you can immediately recognize the TF2 merch just by the silhouette of them. Most games just don't have that immediate recognizability, especially nowadays where everything is trying to look the best or look the most realistic. I wish game companies would take risks more often and try something new and unique instead of just pumping out sequels and remasters. I know it's really hard to come up with unique ideas for games, but I mean, if they could do it in the 2000s, I would assume we could do it now. If there are any games that have a unique art style that have come out recently, I would love to hear about them. Anyway, check out Jet Set Radio and especially Mirror's Edge. That game is so underrated. And the next time you're playing a game that you think has a cool art style, take a moment and appreciate that you're playing a unique game and that you're not playing Counter-Strike 2.